What's good, homies and homies? You already know it's your boy Beastmode Jones. Represent the Pump Chasers brand. Shout out to all my supporters. And you already know, for high volume weightlifting programs that work, go to beastmode316.com. You already know. Get Pump Chasers subs at tigerfitness.com. So, it's trainer mode today. I get a lot of questions about biceps. You know, people ask me all the time, how you get the bicep development, the fullness, the peak, all that stuff. Guys, it all comes down to form. But you gotta also understand that yes, our body is our temple. A temple is like a building, a house, right? We also know from our houses at home, every building, including this building right here, has a foundation, right? So every building has a foundation. That means our bones is like our foundation to our temples. So it's very important to understand. You don't gotta be a fucking genius or have a degree in this shit, but have some kind of basic understanding of the human skeleton, of our anatomy. Because the bottom line is mechanical tension, you know, putting stress on a muscle, all comes down to function of the joints. You know, the elbow, for example, is a hinging joint. A hinging joint, it flexes and it extends. It flexes at the elbow and extends at the elbow. So with that said, we're talking biceps today. People ask me all the time. I want to give you a few bicep tips today. And we'll do some more videos in the future. We'll cover other muscle groups. We'll cover other tips and I throw in a little fun facts like this. So one thing about the biceps is, guys, there's two heads. You have the inner head and you have the outer. The long head and the short. So it's the short on the inside, long on the outside. And you gotta know the point of origin and insertion. And it pretty much origins at the shoulder, inserts right past the elbow at the radius bone. So once again, origin at the shoulder, inserts at the radius bone. Thumbs up, radius bone, thumbs up, right here, right past the elbow, guys. So up in here is gonna be bicep. And you know mechanical tension, the elbow is a hinging joint. Since the elbow is a hinging joint, lots of opening and closing. You want to change the angles. We're three-dimensional. We want to change those angles around, okay? You don't want to just do this from one angle. You want to change the angles around. Come from the bottom, you know, come from the top. Maybe throw some hammer curls, you know, for the outer head, some supination curls. I'm going to give you some tips right now. Come over here. So let me show you one of my favorite movements right here. This is for the outer head. Now, when you stand to the side, you post up and your palm chasers cut off, and you're doing shit like this. This is the head people see. In that video, I told you about the lateral head. So from the side, you're gonna see that lateral head, and you're gonna see the long head of the bicep. This is one of my favorite curling motions. You can do this with an easy curl bar or a straight bar. Me personally, I like the straight bar, but if you got bad wrist, it might take a little pressure off of you to go with the easy curl bar. So get a straight bar, go by shoulder width, all right? Now we know the point of origin for the bicep is at the shoulder, right? So it really kills me when people constantly promote doing really strict curls. Yes, I really believe in strict curling, you know, good form, but it's a scientific fact. If the bicep point of origin is at the shoulder, a little shoulder flexion is gonna help you get a little more contraction in the bicep, which is why when we do concentration curls, we have our hands up here because some shoulder flexion is gonna give you a better contraction. So when you're curling, you know, it's okay to lift your shoulders a little bit. Just make sure you're not overdoing it, because when you're overdoing it, you're using momentum, you're throwing in some back muscles. Yes, you definitely wanna rotate the shoulder a little bit when you're hitting biceps. You don't wanna keep your arms to your side and curl like this. The shoulder is gonna be included because that's the point of origin for the shoulder. The point of origin for the bicep, all right? Don't forget, the point of origin here, insertion here, all right? So, come here, stand up, let the arms hang straight, and really focus on that elbow. We know the elbow is a hinging joint, so just hinge. Just focus on that elbow. Let everything else take care of itself. Use your shoulder for leverage. You might want to roll your shoulders back a little bit. You might want to roll them forward a little bit. Fatten your spot. We're all built differently. Some of y'all got short arms, long arms, etc. It's really a trial and error thing. For me, knees slightly bent. I lean forward a little bit. My shoulders feel right good here. right? And I just curve from the elbow. Bam, squeeze. Take your time, don't use momentum. This is really gonna help bring detail and definition from the side, so you really wanna get all the reps. Just really squeeze. Once you're real good at this, start going heavy. This is really pretty light. I could probably go 80 if I wanted to. Bam, squeeze. Squeeze, control it. Embrace the negative and the positive, just like in life. We're gonna have positive days and negative days. You gotta have both reps. Negative and positive matter. And squeeze, all right? That's one of my favorite movements. See that there? Even got a little bit of forearms in there. Everything ties in nicely, all right? Let me show you another movement right here. So that's a good movement for the long head. Let me show you from the short head. So one of the functions of the bicep is supination. Notice we're twisting the wrist. When you come up, twist, pinky up, all right? Up, pinky up. Function of the bicep. Look at the bicep. Notice when I twist the wrist, you can clearly see the bicep move. So this is definitely a function, supination. So make sure you get some kind of supination work in with your biceps. So I showed you long head, and don't forget to get a little supination in, all right? So check it out. And control the weight. Don't swing and jerk around. You want to really get those arms working, okay? Supinate. Bam. Squeeze. Supinate. Control the weight. You ain't got to go in slow motion. Just make sure you're controlling the rhythm. Don't just drop the weight. Control the whole way. Negative and positive. Keep that in mind. Negative and positive. Stay in the tension. Keep that tension on the muscle. Keep that tension on the muscle. Keep that tension on that muscle. Keep that tension on that muscle. All right? See, a lot of people say shit like constant tension is a lot of short baby reps. No, constant tension is keeping stress on that muscle by not neglecting that negative. Keep that concentration on that positive. Keep the concentration on that negative. Don't drop it and swing it. Constant tension throughout the whole time. Throughout the whole set, you want to keep that muscle under stress. Really get a good pump in there. All right? So there it is. That's 3 tips for you guys. The 3 tips was, make sure you get some supination in. Make sure you get some long head work in. And of course, don't be afraid to move the shoulder. Like I said, the point of origin for bicep is in the shoulder. So a little shoulder flexion is completely fine. Just don't be using a whole bunch of momentum and overdoing it. All right, that's your 3 tips for the day. If you want to see more, comment below and give it like if you enjoy it. You already know Beastmode 316 for high volume programs. If you do not have a gym membership that has dumbbells and cables and shit, don't get my shit. My shit is for people who really go to the gym and really want some fucking results. Bam! Moment of silence before we fuck up these weights.